I'm Kaylee Thomas. I'm a digital coach, and this is Nuria Linares Molina, and she did a really good job with Breakout Rooms this semester. So we are just going to talk about what she did and how she did it, and how we know that her Breakout Rooms improved. We're kind of thinking about next semester how we can improve, how we can replicate it, and see it in other classrooms. First, what classes do you teach?
So I teach math 3 and math 2, but this quarter I had only my math 3 classes. I was teaching 3 sections of math 3, and they are all mainstream, not no honors.
Okay. And what was your goal with Breakout Rooms this quarter?
My goal for the breakout rooms was to have my students collaborating because semester 1, with all the craziness going into online learning and all of that, not a lot of were interacting, student to student interactions, not as much as I usually would like to, push if we were in a regular year, I guess. So then one of my goals was to have, something in place where kids were interacting with each other and talking about the math and the things that were going on in class. I do truly believe that, if I am the only one that is saying stuff and, I am the one doing the work and the thinking, I'm the one processing. But in my classes, I want my students talking, and I try not to say anything that they can't say, because again, and I tell them out of our whole class, I'm the only one who doesn't take the test or who doesn't, I mean. So then my goal is always that they do the processing, the thinking, the talking, the questioning, and all of those pieces. So then having them in breakout rooms and interacting with each other gave an opportunity to sort of, for that to happen.
What adaptations did you make from last semester?
Last semester, we got the function right for breakout rooms late semester. So then, I did start trying, like, different things. Like I heard some of my colleagues saying, if you put them in large groups, then that's sufficient because maybe somebody is going to start talking and pieces like that. So I went from large groups to smaller groups, a lot of, like putting them in groups of 4, and then moving from what we were able to do towards the end of last semester to this one, I kept that groups of 4, gave them a role. Each one had a task to complete within their group. But then I gave them, survey questions, often through the quizzes we took or through the exit tickets or to the reflection at the end of class. And a lot of them were saying, Miss, it's awkward sometimes because, we have the roles, but people are not talking. So then, I don't know, I decided to try partners and put them in partners to go and check their work. And they responded a lot better with that. And I made it so that, before I send them to go and check with their partner, they had time to think on their own, start a problem, work independently for like 2-3 minutes, and then go and check your thinking, and then gave them like sentence stems or gave them pointers on how to start the conversation when they went and see their partners. So I it seemed to make a difference to go from large group to a group of 4 to partners.
And you said you did partners. How did you choose the partners, or how did you have the same partners each time, different partners each time? How did you determine the groups?
Sometimes it just happened that they ended up with the same person, but if I noticed that, the same 2 people ended up, I would move them intentionally just because, it was the same 2 people every class. So then I would change them now and then so that they got to work with different people.
can you talk a little bit about what you did with growth mindset and how you kind of built a vocabulary around that?
Okay. So then the whole thing, I mean, that to get to the point where they felt comfortable, right? Going into a breakout room, just the idea of getting into a breakout room and being with classmates and people that they didn't know faces and stuff like that. It was a whole process. Like, at the beginning of the semester, I told them, about this idea of or focus on three things. The first one was going to be participation. The other one is completion, and the other one was leadership. So we started with those three things, with this idea of, being present, being engaged, and collaboration was part of it. And then completion through the pieces or through the lesson desmos or perde, if that's what we were using that day. And then the leadership piece, right? If you go into the breakout room, maybe you are the one who's going to start the conversation by asking this and those pieces. So then, and because of that, right, then other pieces in place, like every Tuesday or every class, we started with something that wasn't math related all of the time. So every Tuesday, they had a little something, very short stuff sometimes, but it was related to the growth mindset. I started with a very short video from Khan Academy, You Can Do Anything. And it was their do now, that's their do now, a non-math related something. And I asked them to process, to give me their opinion about the video, what it meant, and how it was related to the work that we were doing in class. And so it became a habit. Every Tuesday, I would have a piece. Like not long ago, I gave them a video of a very small kitty, a kitty cat trying to jump, and it's on YouTube, trying to jump on a corner, but he's so tiny that his jump is so, and I asked them like, what words of encouragement or advice would you give this little guy? And so every Tuesday we would do something like that related to mindset, or not so direct like that day. I was thinking, maybe there is stress levels building up. And so by giving that advice to the little guy, this funny, cute little video, it was to themselves, and so those pieces became a habit. Then the rest of the days in the week, it was, again, right, something or a question or a video or a puzzle or a brain teaser or something that it wasn't math related, but that's how we build those pieces, I guess. It got to the point where they are like, Miss, what if I don't know how to do this? And I'm like, use your growth mindset, Don't think that way. Let's apply growth mindset and let's go from there.
Yeah. So I think your breakout rooms improved, but how do you know that the breakout rooms changed, improved over the course of the semester?
Oh, that was so exciting. That was so exciting because I know that it worked, because if they went into a breakout room, right, I wanted them to talk about the exercise that they did for the warm-up, right? Are answers matching? Why or why not? If they are different, then who has the right answer and why? When they came back, we would do it as a whole class, and I would ask them to report. So I saw more people participating. Some of them, unmuting and talking to the whole class like that, or through the chat, they would answer my questions about the exercise and report it back on the conversation that they had on the breakout room. Or, through those reflection questions, through the quizzes, or, I asked them for feedback. I was asking them how they felt and, how to improve and stuff like that. And so sometimes they said, we need more time, or, like recently they are saying, maybe we start getting more than two people in a team. So those little pieces are telling me that they are paying attention, and, and I can see it through their participation when we are back as a whole group. Actually, it has made it now so that, they are doing presentations as a whole class, they do the exercise individually, go check their thinking with their partner, then come back, and then somebody is presenting and going over the exercise. So then those pieces are telling me that, whatever, right, is happening there, they said they needed more time. that, that we needed to adjust that time because they needed more time.
So looking to next quarter, because we're finishing with this group and moving to next quarter, to a new group of students, are there any changes that you will make going into the next quarter, or what's your goal for this next quarter?
So I guess my goal remains the same in the sense of I want them collaborating. I want them talking. I want them helping each other and asking questions to each other. And, as much as possible, they are doing the talking. It's not me. I need them thinking. I need them, so then that remains the same. What I want to adjust a little bit is maybe formalize it a little bit more with rubrics for their participation, and not necessarily is just their completion, is if they are engaged and I hear them talking and I see them collaborating and checking with each other, it becomes part of the classwork grade for that day. And I did it last semester where I told them, and I'm even hoping that maybe that helps with their training a little bit faster than last semester, because they can see the rubric, they can see what's expected and all of those pieces. So then that's one of the changes, one of the adjustments that I want to do for this coming quarter.
As your breakout rooms improved, did that correlate to increased understanding on the math content? Were you able to see a correlation there?
I would say yes. I am gonna say yes, because again, right, as students are trying more and engaging more with the pieces that we have to cover and develop that day, at the end, right, we had a weekly quiz at the end of Friday to collect, right, those pieces that we were talking about. And I was able to see that students had their growth or their understandings, or even for the ones that were still sort of like processing, they were asking good questions on the reflection. They always had a reflection question through the quizzes. And so they were asking things that I still see they were thinking about the math and thinking about, what was going on that week. So yeah. On every lesson I did at the very beginning, because we were creating a habit, right? The goal was to get them, they didn't have to think about it. They knew what it meant, what it looked like, and what I meant. So then pushing participation, and I told them, how do I know that you are participating? Because you're engaged. You are there, you are present, you are collaborating. Your task initiation, well, that means that you're not taking forever to start. I can see that I gave you directions. Maybe you needed to ask a question and you start right away. Then on-task behavior is letting me know that you are participating, because I see you working and you're staying on task. And then being present, I can check in with you at any time and you are there, And then participation, right? As a whole group or in the breakout room is share your answer. Or if somebody shared their answer, you can say in the chat, you can say, I agree with so-and-so because of this, or I disagree with this person because of this. And that was the sentence that was letting me know that you were participating as a whole group. Or ask a question. You can ask a question about the answer. How did you get it? What was your first step? How do you know that it's reasonable? How do you know that it's correct? So here. Then for completion, through the, through the Desmos or Pertec. If you're not sure how to do it, then you write a list of questions and ask about the exercise to me, to your partner, to your team, and those pieces. And then I told them practicing leadership skills. That means maybe you start a conversation, you lead by example, you are using effective communication, you staying positive, you're supporting your team, and all of those things. Why? Because again, I'm teaching mostly juniors right now. This semester. Most of them are going to become seniors next semester, meaning they're going to start their applications for college, job, army, whatever, right? So these are the things that they got to be talking about. Their collaboration, how they help the partner, how they supported the community, how they were leaders and stuff like that. So then really, really, we have been practicing using the math as the medium, to practice these other things that they are gonna need when they go to the next period, to the next class. So then selling it like that made it so that they, I mean, again, it created a habit and they knew. I think it was really helpful.
Can
So,
you repeat what you said about making it safe?
or making it safe. So then the other thing is working, right? Because I can ask them to do those pieces, but if it's not safe, they are going to be so hesitant. So the idea is to make it safe for them so that they are willing. So one thing that I did for the breakout rooms, I guess, and for participating, and it was to make sure that before I put them in the breakout room, they had maybe 2-3 minutes to independently think about the assignment, and then going to the breakout room. But before going into the breakout room, also giving them like the means to start that conversation, because they told me that it was awkward. It was, when nobody's talking. So then again, make it safe, but also give them the means, meaning start the conversation. I would say, after 3 minutes, think on your own. After 3 minutes, I'm going to put you in the breakout room. When you get there, you're going to start that conversation by asking this. And very often, that question is the very same question. I'm asking them for the problem. And so giving them those sentence stems or the means again on how to start the conversation made it so that they were more, they were willing because they had the pieces. They knew if I said practice your leadership skills, be the first one who starts the conversation, they know what they should be asking when they get there. They have the question. And, and we already had it within that exercise, so then using those same pieces that were already there is how they, conducted that conversation in the breakout room.
And then you said when they came back to the whole class, you wouldn't cold call on them, but because you set it up that way, you saw more participation?
Yes, because they had a chance to think on their own, right? Then they went into the breakout rooms to check understanding, to attend to precision, ask questions, and check in with me also, because then, right, I can't say I went and visit every single group every single time I opened those breakout rooms. We took turns, but then they checked with me. They asked. And so when we came back, right, when I asked, what did you guys get? Or what did you think about this? I would have people willing. And then, right, because of the pieces I was showing you on the Desmos activity, I told them that participation as a whole group was share your answer, or if somebody share the answer already, they could say, I agree with so and so because, or I disagree with so and so because, or ask a question. How did you get your answer? What was your first step? How do you know that it's correct? How do you know that it's reasonable? So then again, it gave them the means on how, what I'm asking them to do, what it looks like and what it sounds like, and those pieces. So then that's how I knew that breakout rooms and those pieces were being effective, because from semester 1, where everybody was quiet, to having them actually volunteering answers and putting them in the chat, and actually at this point I have my students willing to do the presentation and go over the exercise. Not me, but they can do it. And now right now, after we have been practicing and they know and they are feeling more confident, I have call some students and they are fine. And I say, I'm put you on the spot, but it's too good to let it go. So can you please do this? And they do it. They do it. They're willing to do it.
Yeah, probably because your classroom is like a really safe space. So I think that's really impressive in this remote pandemic year.
Yes, and then that is also true here in the classroom. If they are confident about what they are doing, then they are gonna be willing. So then now that we are in this mode, is a little more tricky, but the idea is the same. Help them see that they are safe, and that being safe also mean even when we make mistakes. Even if you mess it up a little, and I tell them, those are the conversations we have. Even if you mess it up, that's why math, we are supposed to be doing it with pencil, because we can erase it and fix it. So selling that idea that making mistakes is just part of the process. And I tell them, if I knew a different way, I would share it with you, but there is not a different way. And the other thing is I made a point, and I don't care. I made a point to be transparent with them in the regards of, if I make a mistake, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna hide it. I'm gonna use that opportunity to show them how I, as an adult and as a teacher, how I deal with it. It's okay. You can freak out a little bit, but then problem solve. Last week, I think it was last week. I don't remember what I think I forgot to give him a text box in the Desmos lesson, and or something. It was something silly, and I'm like, and I was starting to feel like I was starting to freak out, and I'm like, you guys are freaking out a little bit because I did this, so it's not going as planned. So I need you to support me, because right now I need all of us to problem solve. And then we do.
That's awesome. I think that's all the questions that I have. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, just excited. Looking forward to the second time around of doing this. And enter again, because I know that it's gonna go better. I know that it's gonna be, good for the kids. Now that I've tried it, and I saw, and they told me, they said, miss this or miss that, and I have been trying to incorporate. So I'm excited to try it with a whole new class next semester and do those little things, how it goes. So I'm excited.
I like that you are always demonstrating and living out a growth mindset, even when you're not trying to. I think students pick up on that too. But, thanks for recording this so we can try to see what went well and share it with other classes too.